the channel. I'm back to break down this 5-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel. Excited to get into it. Going to give you guys the plays that you need to get into the money. And, of course, at the end of the video, my lock of the night. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And lastly, I do offer an NBA DFS premium package. You can check that out, link below in the description. You get access to all of my projections and all of my tools that will help you make better NBA DFS lineups. Things like my team stats summary, offensive half-court putbacks tool, half-court putbacks, offense shooting frequency, offense shooting accuracy, defensive shooting accuracy, etc. Lots of tools over here, guys. They're very useful. And you also get access to my core plays, injury impact insights, all that stuff. And most importantly, the Discord where you can ask me questions all the way up until lock. I will be going live tonight as well. Second time on the channel, I'll be going live. So if you're interested in that, that'll be from 5 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll be going live answering questions right before lock. So tune into that as well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and start breaking down this slate today. So as always, we're going to go game by game here. First game on the slate, we have Milwaukee taking on Detroit. Have some injury news in this one for sure. There's no Chris Middleton. Drew Holiday continues to be out. Brook Lopez continues to be out. Dante DiVincenzo continues to be out. Grayson Allen is listed as questionable in this one. Looks like he's more so probable. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is probable as well. And Giannis is going to be an absolute smash play in this spot. This game comes in with a 216 over-under with a 4.5-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. They are completely depleted. Giannis's usage is going to be through the roof here. Starting five expected to be George Hill, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he's going to be an absolute smash play. Bobby Portis off the bench going to be a great play at 4-4. Jordan Nora at 4-5 going to be a great play. We have Justin Robinson at 3K. And the amount of value you're going to be able to get from this Bucks team tonight is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And the amount of upside that Giannis Antetokounmpo has tonight is going to be absolutely ridiculous as well. Everything's going to fall on his shoulders. He's going to be expected to carry the load here. He's going to play all the minutes he can handle. And, yeah, he's the top fantasy point producer in the league, you know, putting up 1.88 DK points per minute. And now he gets put into this role. Going to have a very hard time not playing Giannis tonight. If you don't play Giannis, I don't know what you're doing. So that would be how we're going to lead off this show. Grayson Allen's going to grade out as a great play. Bobby Portis, a great play, like I said. Pat Connaughton as well. Like I said, there's just going to be a ton of value on this Milwaukee side. So that's the obvious giveaway early on in this slate right away. I can tell you off the bat. It's going to be Giannis. It's going to be Grayson Allen, like I talked about. It's going to be Pat Connaughton, Jordan Nora, great fantasy point per minute producer. Bobby Portis, a great fantasy point per minute producer, 4-5 and 4-4. Going to really, really like these guys. And Bobby Portis playing just 19 minutes after injuries and kind of working his way back. I think should finally have a shot to crank up his minutes here and really go off. And Bobby Portis, if you've been playing NBA DFS for quite some time, you know what he's capable of. On the Detroit side, Saddiq Bey is listed as questionable, more so probable in this one, so expect him to go. He's been pretty good on the season as a fantasy point per minute producer. This one's going to stay expected to stay close. Him and Jeremiah Grant are obviously the top two options on the Detroit side, so those are the two guys I'd be looking to mostly lock in my lineups here. The ones that grade out the best. Josh Jackson on DraftKings here at 4.7 is someone that's kind of an interesting option based on his minutes being played the last few times out. He's been playing right around 25 minutes, but he's been able to get all the way up until, you know, like 31 DraftKings points, and he's still a little bit underpriced, so he's an interesting option. And then also Cade Cunningham at 3.6. He was really popular in his first game back. He was limited to like 20 minutes. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well because I think he's going to continue to be limited. So my approach was, if he's going to be popular, not to play him, and he was very popular the first time out. He only put up 14 DraftKings points. Like, that's not going to get the job done for you in tournaments. That would still be my approach here. At only 3.6, if we find out he's going to be limited on minutes, still on like 20 minutes, I'm probably going to fade him just because I think there's other, especially with the Milwaukee news, there's just other values that I could go to that are going to have higher upside that aren't capped in their minutes. Miami taking on Dallas, second game on the slate. This game right now comes in with a 213.5 over-under with a 2-point spread in favor of the Miami Heat. Not the fastest-paced game in the world, but we do know where the usage is flowing on both sides, which is always fun. Kristaps Porzingis listed as questionable in this one. That's going to be big news. If he's out, Reggie Bullock should start. Dorian Finney-Smith should get more minutes and usage. Bam Adebayo also listed as questionable in this one. If he's out, it's going to be Dwayne Dedmon starting. Markieff Morris should get additional run. And then if these guys are out, it'll be big bumps in usage to both Luka Doncic and Jimmy Butler. So these two guys are the most impacted by the news of both of those guys because, if they're out, these two guys are going to be the stars of the show. They're going to get big bumps up in usage. They're going to become much more prominent plays. And so that's why that news is really relevant. And then, of course, obviously, Dwayne Dedmon and, Dorian Finney-Smith and Boban Marjanovic, even off the bench at 3-9, could get some more run here. But also, we talked about Reggie Bullock getting the start. So those are the guys that are going to be impacted by that news. So certainly keep your eyes out for that. And then Jalen Brunson as well on the Dallas side. Going to be a much better play. If there's no Kristaps Porzingis, he should see some more usage. And then you have guys like Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry that'll also get bumps up in usage if there's no Bam Adebayo. So, that news is pretty big. Certainly be keeping your eyes on it because that's going to impact how much I like these guys for sure. From a first look aspect as far as who grades out the best in this game, honestly, it's not really looking all too promising on DraftKings as far as guys that I'm really, really high on right now. Without that injury news, Bam Adebayo grades out as the best play right now. I do have him projected as in for the time being. So he'd be the best play on DraftKings. And then as far as FanDuel, it's going to be Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's still only priced at 5.9 over there on FanDuel. So he's a little bit too underpriced on that website specifically. Sacramento taking on Utah. This game right now comes in with a total of 219.5 over-under in this one with a 9-point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. They're expected to win this one fairly easily, and it kind of makes sense because the Utah Jazz have been very good defensively. Looking at my defensive transition half-court putbacks tool here as far as their rank in defense, they're the third best team overall in points per possession rank. Looking at Sacramento and how they fared, they are the 21st best team. So Sacramento's defense has really not been good. Donovan Mitchell continues to be good, but his upside just hasn't been that high for his price tag, to be honest with you. I'm going to continue to probably not play him all that much because I'd rather just go down to the cheaper guys on the Utah side, guys like a Mike Conley, a Jordan Clarkson at 6K at 5.6. I mean, they have the same upside as him, literally as what he's been putting up, like 40 DraftKings points per game, and they're priced the whole, 6, 7, 8, like 3,000 less. So why am I going to pay all the way up for him when I can just go to, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles? Some of these guys are bound to have big games, and those are the guys I'd probably be looking to in this one. And then, of course, if your approach is that you think Donovan Mitchell is going to have a big enough game, put him in your lineups, probably not playing these other guys because he's going to have to really soak up some usage and really be on-ball dominant to really hit that mark at his current price tag. De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes continue to be guys that are seeing plenty of minutes on the Sacramento side. So, they're the minutes upside guys. Harrison Barnes shooting very effectively from behind the three-point arc early on in the season. Last time he had a bad shooting game, of course, after that 1 for 8, but has been good. Rashawn Holmes at only 6'3", I think, is also very underpriced. He has double-level upside. I mean, he can absolutely blow this price tag out of the water for sure, so I have no issues with you playing some Rashawn Holmes. As far as who's really grading out good in this game for me as a first look, also, I do like Buddy Hield at only 5'8" on DraftKings. I think that's just too cheap for the upside that he provides. A very good three-point shooter on DraftKings where you get that three-point bonus. He's been playing right around 30 minutes a game. Has been able to go out there and rack up 43 DraftKings points, his highest total. And, if they're going to stay in this game, they might need some shooting off the bench from him, so he makes some sense for me as well. The New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Phoenix Suns. This game right now comes in with a 217 over-under with an 11.5 point spread in favor of the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns expected to win this one fairly easily. Brandon Ingram is listed as questionable in this one, so that's going to be big news. That'll be a bump up to Devontae Graham, Garrett Temple, but they're also listed as questionable in this one, so that's big news. If these guys are all out, you're going to be taking a hard look to guys like Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, etc. So keep an eye on that injury news. And then DeAndre Ayton listed as questionable in this one as well. If he's out, it's going to be JaVale McGee time. Jalen Smith would also see an increased workload, but I mean, JaVale McGee at only 3.4 would become an absolute smash play at his respective price tag. So we have some big injury news to be had in this one. The game's really not expected to stay close. It's expected to blow out. So, of course, that's something else that we have to factor in here. And, I mean, it makes sense with all these injuries, so if that's the case, I mean, obviously Jonas Valanciunas is going to get a huge bump up in usage as well if these Pelicans are all hurt, so big injury news to be had here, and we can't really elaborate on it until we get that news, so hopefully we'll have that news later on during the live stream, and I can elaborate a little bit further on that, but yeah, I mean, obviously all these guys are going to get a bump up in usage on the Pelican side if these guys are out. And then on the Phoenix side, it's going to be Devin Booker, Chris Paul. They're obviously the most on-ball usage dominant guys, and if there's no DeAndre Ayton, they should get an even bigger bump up in usage. So Chris Paul at 7.6, I think it's very reasonably priced specifically. That nice like 400 price discount off of Devin Booker, but I mean both of these guys is where you really want to start, of course, from an upside aspect on the Phoenix side. And as far as who's grading out as very good plays for me in this one right now, not really too intrigued about anyone too much, to be honest. Devin Booker would be the best play at 8K right now in my projection model on an upside aspect for his price tag. And then as far as FanDuel is concerned, it's probably going to be Jay Crowder at only 4,200 over there. So that's where I'd be looking to in this one. Last game on the slate, Houston taking on the LA Lakers. LeBron James listed as questionable. Anthony Davis listed as questionable. LeBron's already missed 2 games. As far as Anthony Davis is concerned, he's more so probable, so expect him to go. So it's really LeBron James is the only one that's true questionable in this one. If he's out, of course, it's going to be a bump up in usage to Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. They become much better plays. If there's no LeBron James, their usage goes way up. They're going to be working in the pick and roll a ton together, I'm sure, if that's the case. And this game right now comes in with a 218.5 over-under with a 10.5 point spread in favor of the LA Lakers. So another game that could possibly blow out. The Lakers are expected to win this one fairly easily. You can make a case that's a little bit scary. But, yeah, Christian Wood on the Houston side, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green continue to be the 3 main candidates for minutes, usage, upside. You know, those are the guys that I really be looking to keep this game close. If it does stay close, they're going to have big games here. You can make an argument for Eric Gordon, at 4.9. He's the other guy that comes off the bench as a 6-man. So, yeah, they're going to need their shooting to stay in this game. So those guys would be the ones I'm looking to play. If I'm playing anyone on the Lakers side, I probably want to run it back with someone from the Houston side because they're going to need their shooting. Carmelo Anthony, revenge narrative, I guess you could say, which kind of would make sense for LeBron to sit because of that being the case. Take it on his former team in Houston. If that's the case and Melo starts, I would like Melo a lot at his 5.3 price tag. He's been very effective from the field, playing very well, so I would like Carmelo Anthony as well. As far as FanDuel is concerned, I kind of threw out a few names as we were going along there that I might like a little bit more over here, but as always, I like to just kind of pull it up. Kyle Lowry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, going to be 2 of my favorite plays. Eric Gordon as a 6-man over here on FanDuel at only 4,200. I do think is a pretty good play as well. A guy that we just talked about, so no issues with you going to him. De'Aaron Fox at 7,700 is way too cheap out here on FanDuel. Mike Conley at 5,500 at the point guard position. So there's 2 cheap point guards for you that I think are just too cheap for their respective upside in De'Aaron Fox and Mike Conley. And then Bobby Portis at 4,700. We talked about that Milwaukee value. I'm really going to like him on FanDuel. And I also think that Luka Doncic at 10.4 grades out is a pretty good play on FanDuel as well. So, yeah, Bobby Portis, you get points for the blocks and steals over here on FanDuel as well. I think he could be a great play tonight. Going to like him a lot. And that is my overall breakdown of this 5-game slate. Before I let you guys go, got to give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Collin Sexton. Taking on this Charlotte squad, we had mentioned how they've been struggling on the defensive side of things. This game's expected to be paced at a pretty high pace, and Collin Sexton been slow to get things started, so he's very underpriced across the industry. I think it's only a matter of time before he pops off for a big game. A guy that's traditionally a very high fantasy point producer, and even on the season, he hasn't been too bad, putting up 0.86 FanDuel points per minute. As far as DraftKings, you're looking at 0.89 DraftKings points per minute. And like I said, I think it's just a matter of time before this guy pops off, and this is the game environment to do so. Fast, up-tempo game. On-ball usage is always high for Collin Sexton. Love this spot for him. Only a 5-point spread with that 223.5 over-under a game is expected to stay close, so I think he should have plenty of opportunity to have a big game. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Giannis Antetokounmpo, get him in your lineups, and that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content at any point in this video, if you could please take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to check into the live stream 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Wish you guys the best of luck, and we will see you in the next one.